You're so appreciative. No one cannot see your dynamic energy, I swear. Okay. Good, good. Give thanks. Gratitude, family. Gratitude. Gratitude. Attitude of gratitude. Vibrations of gratitude. We are vibrating the highest level of vibrations. The Rastas call it iration. Irie. We can speak all languages, but we have to be appreciative of this queen, goddess sister, and her specialness. That's what you have to seek in souls. Their specialness, their uniqueness. This is what we have to be. We have to feel each other's vibe. I sensed and felt the vibe through the Ethernet, the internet, and yes, the queen is finally here. We spent so much time trying to make this happen. It is such a gracious, a gratitude, and appreciated thing. Blessings, Anna. How are you? Okay, hold on just a second. Hold on just a second, Anna. Okay. Okay. So, yes. So, how are you?
Doing really good, David. It has been a beautiful journey, and I am just every day in more gratitude to be living it.
Yes. Well, we definitely appreciate you. And, you know, you're a global traveler, vibrator. We vibrate the energy we shine, the energy that we are. And that's the detrimental importance of us sharing ourselves with one another on the Ethernet, the internet, the intranet. And that's just what we're doing right here. Face Mob, thanks for being the first to join. Face Mob joined first. We gotta give thanks. And he is on the Instagram. I am live on David Dimitri live in color on YouTube. I'm also live on YouTube on the OWU network, the Original World Union network, and I am live at David Dimitri Johnson on Facebook. We are here with Ana Massette, spiritual practitioner. The sister is such a blessing. What she teaches, if you follow Ana Massette, I advise you all to follow her. If you catch this live, we just started, so if you catch this on the replay, on the YouTubes or wherever, you have to start
And it's
following her.
without music too.
Yes.
It's a music playing in my mind the whole time.
Gratitude, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I see in you. That's what I felt from you. I followed you for months before I even asked you to come on. And that was a couple of weeks ago. Both of us, our schedules hectic. It's just an incredible blessing to have you here. And what you teach, people need to know more about. So we're going to give them a little time to come in, but we will bounce off of each other and get the energy vibrating. Sound effects does it good. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Brazil, a very small island up north.
Okay, an island.
Very famous. Nobody knows where that is.
An
But it's
island gal.
beautiful.
An island gal. I knew it was something
Island girl,
special.
that's right.
We island people right here.
Yes.
A Brazilian
Are you from
island.
over there?
Say again?
Are you from Ireland as
No,
well?
I was born in California, actually, in Southern California, but I lived years and years of my life on islands. I've actually lived in Seychelles for
I
6 months in that's in like Africa. I've lived years of my life in Jamaica and around the Caribbean. Um,
that's fantastic.
but I'm actually originally from here. I have grandparents from the islands, but they're not even the source of why I ended up living in islands for so long. it was just me. The other relatives left it behind and didn't never go back. But me, I'm an island. I'm just an island boy. That's just me.
Yes, yes, it gets in the blood.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? Great about it is a lot of people they figure it out, but the lack of aging,
The what?
the lack of aging,
The lack of aging, you
the
said?
slowing down of aging, being from
Yeah,
an island and being on the islands.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I'm definitely a very big proof of it. I'm 50 now, and I'm just dreaming alive and lights, and it seems like it's just the beginning.
Yeah. You we're the same age group, so we see the world a little bit different from some people, you know? And that's how age groups work. A lot of
Yeah,
people that follow me, especially on my YouTubes, they're a little bit younger. And on my YouTubes, I talk about different things. On Instagram, you're really limited on what you can talk or how you talk, you know, because of what they might consider offensive. We don't. But um, I think you're beautiful, lovely, and intelligent. The intelligence part, I need all of you that are already on here to realize that this sister has on her Instagram, and you're on TikTok too, also, correct?
yes.
On her TikTok, she gives vibrant, precise teachings. It's like you see the pictures of her. I'm incapable of I have not zoned my skill in yet to be able to take videos off of Instagram or TikTok yet. I have a couple of times, but it's a little bit of work. So I didn't go in and take any of your videos. I would have asked you which ones you would want me to if I was going to do it. Therefore, I could have showed them here. But I do have many spiritual videos that kind of relate with the subject matter you teach. But then they still don't teach exactly what you teach. And what you teach, you all need to know is she made it so simple. You will go and how you see the picture of her right now on the screen. You will literally see her on the screen, correct? Now she'll be on the screen. And what you will see is that she has the writing for the specific subject matter with a header. Then you could swipe, or even right there, the video will bring it is a picture, but in a video form, the words that come in expounding on that subject matter, telling you how to apply this knowledge to your life wherever you are. It's that simple. You just go follow her, let her into your feed, your scrolling feed, and when she comes up, you stop what you're doing and you just read it. And then if you want, even if you don't scroll, you're gonna get something from her first post. How did you come up with that?
I actually just surrendered to that. Really, that's the answer. That has always been with me, and it's just my higher self guide me to do what I have to do. And I hid in myself for such a long time until I stopped hiding, and just it's a work of surrendering every day. Every day you surrender a little bit to your higher self. But another uh, another way that got me to be so simplistic is the fact that I come from the little island in Brazil.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
to come from a small place like that, you become very resourceful,
Mm-hmm.
where life is really simplistic, and you come to the city and you see so much complexity, and you go like, oh, it really needs to be so complex. It can be pretty simple.
So you know the
Uh,
difference from being complicated and simple.
Oh, 100%. My mind is just set in a way that I love. One of my biggest joys is to get complex things and turn them into simple. This is one of my biggest joy. Has always been like that. Turn
Simplicity.
complexity into simple steps.
There's a Rastafarian song. It goes, simplicity we use to survive. Men find it difficult. That's why they're ignorant and die.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Simplicity we
yeah.
use to survive. By Sizzler Scalangi. Yeah, Sizzler. He always sets things straight. It's a couple of queens that are big singers now, and they're Rasta. I love that the human race, specifically the males, are now evolving where they can allow women to influence them better. Don't you think that's making the world better?
It got a little lower now. Do I think that is what?
Don't you? I'm really appreciative that men are now, the world is so that men are able to accept and receive women's influence easier and better now.
Yes, we finally got here to this point where
Mm-hmm.
women are being heard, but I also think that women are getting this space where they understand that they don't need to be blaming men for everything. So when they put them in this energy of love, that's when we can be actually heard. Because it's like whatever happens in the past, yeah, men in the past messed up so much, but women, let's wake up. Let's not do the same thing. Let's not mess up as men did in the past. And many of us women are getting to this space where, like, yeah, we don't need to blame, and when we don't do, this is when we're actually being heard.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful. What she just said is a very important. You said a lot. Let's sum up that just because I want that to sit in the people. So you responded to me saying, I one thing that I love, and I get it from you. From you, it didn't really dawn on me until I started following you that our queens of our planet need to shine and let the male and the younger females and even the elders see, because the elders will be passing on, but before they pass on, they need to be able to see such a joyous thing that the women are now being heard and felt and more influential to men in our ways, in our vibe, instead of us being so hostile and stuff, you know? And so she responded in multiple ways. And when you just responded, you said, yes. And also, you like that women are getting in a place with themselves in their expression where they're not blaming men. I think that is a very powerful observation. And you know what? Men didn't influence women to do that. Women did that on their own.
Yeah,
Men are still blaming women. There's
yeah.
it's a common thing, and it's a trait and a tendency from, I call it one of the industrial age complexes. The industrial age men have to be perfect robot stones that can't feel pain and have no emotional vocabulary, and women have to be subject. Just this retardation, just foolish.
Oh my God, you guys have gone through so much, but you guys have to be suppressing so much emotion in order to stay in this like expectation of from society. So of course you guys have messed up lots of things because that's what happens when you suppress so much. We messed up.
Right, and that's just it. It took me a while. It took me to about my mid-20s because I was blessed enough to have women to influence me with certain truths. But being a man and having issues with human beings and women being part of that, it was easy for me to say this pain is an excuse, or this experience is an excuse not to give time to understand what my mother and aunties are saying. what these wise women on television and in their music are saying. But I was so blessed that very spiritual women and women of color came in my life and enlightened me beyond even my mothers and aunties. You see, about the power of the queendom, the power of women, and the need for women leadership, and a need for an optimistic perspective. And so it took me a while, but by the time I was in my 30s, I realized I was leaps and bounds beyond the other men. You know?
Good for you, right in your 30s. Some people never get it.
They don't. They don't. Do you know I got attacked bad on social media because they made a movie called the Queen. It was about Benin. It's Benin is a West African area, which was a queendom and kingdom. It was more like a queendom and kingdom.
Yeah.
And it had the world's biggest wall. China Great Wall is not big as it has a lot of great influences on modern architecture. Great place and people. And they made a movie about what slavery did to it, and it was called the Woman King. That was the name of the movie. And
I remember that.
yeah. And I stood up and I said, no, man, you got it wrong, because there was a lot of black men, obviously, especially in America. Because America is a very political place. You've been here. I don't know how long you've been here.
Tell me about it. 17 years. That's been a lot.
I bet that was a big adjustment. Like, everybody's thinking hard here. Everybody's overthinking it.
Overthinking, that's a very good way of putting it.
You know what I mean? And like, I stayed away from it, but some of the friends, it's a sister named Demetra K. She's a friend of mine. She said, brother, I want you to come on my show. I denied it at first, but she wanted me because I'm actually working for years in Hollywood and in the industry and in writing and in creating in the back. And I agreed. I got on and I was telling them, no, this is true. This is just how a lot of it was going. The women had to fend for themselves. And in fact, in the Black American community and in the Caribbean community and South and Central American communities, women a lot on a higher level have to fend for themselves against a lot of social outliers. You know what I mean by outliers?
Yes.
And so when women have to fend for themselves on these social outliers, it changes the women and it changes the culture. And that's what the film was, in the story in the film was trying to express. It wasn't trying to put men down at all. It was showing you if a culture is totally destroyed by outside influences with violent criminal actions and oppressions, then what happens is they're dividing the people. So they're going to divide the adult males from the females. They're going to turn the women into objects of desire and objects of exploitation, as well as the men. And that's what the film was trying to show, that the women, and it was telling the actual real facts. And the men just were like, no, and I got it. I did what I could to see it from the men's way, and it just didn't make sense. And I had to go on and set the matter straight. These guys were threatening me. And I'm talking about brothers, other black men, like, you fake. And I was like, man, I know what I'm talking about. I offered a couple of them to come to the boxing gym. They wouldn't. I told them to come down to the MMA gym. They wouldn't. I said, why don't you back it, you know? But I said all that just to let you know where I'm at. I wanted you to know who I am.
I see it. I see you.
Thank you.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you. Gratitude. And I thank you took your time to research to make sure I was okay, because that makes me respect you, because you respect yourself.
Of course. Yes.
So let's get into you. Like, I want to say thanks to Must Take Actions. She is a queen. She's in the house. Alley Cat, the queen of my life is in the house. We thankful. Face G Mob is definitely in the place to be. And on Facebook, let's see if anybody has came in yet. Yo, peace everybody. On David Dimitri live in color and OU. Now Ana Massette will talk about herself. She's from Brazil, as she said. If you just got on, peace, brother Kashif Bey is in the place to be. She's from Brazil and she's from an island. Tell us about your youth and coming up there, and how it influenced who you are as a spiritual practitioner.
Um, I moved to America 17 years ago, and it has been a long journey. I basically follow all the steps of what society wants for me to do. I got married, I got degrees, I got a good job, and then I found out they are lying to me this whole time. So I was very unhappy with the life that I have created for myself, and I decided to start over. And that's how I came to the spiritual world, because I find out the society was really lying to me on the whole. Do this, get them married. I mean, think that you don't have the kids according to what society prescribes to me. But then I gave up on the old life
Oh,
that I had before and went to become not become spiritual, because we are all spiritual, really. As I
yes.
said before, I just
Mm-hmm.
surrendered to that truth. I mostly went with so that I could stop what the external world was telling me, because it wasn't really working.
Mm. You emphasize that. You even emphasize this when you talk to me about is it that we separate from the outer external world and its influence and its vibration on us? What is it that you're prescribing there? Because that's a very important help to me. It's been a very important help to
This
me.
was my teaching is all about. You can't really access the power within without shutting down the power outside. It's like it's competing, because the moment that we open our eyes, there's a lot of distraction. And someone saying one thing, and there's a noise. This is that. Is so much distraction that it becomes almost impossible to listen to what the voice is telling us inside. And just remember that the voice is energy,
Mm.
and this
Mm.
tangible world gets us to forget this truth that we are energy, and this voice that is talking that lives within us is that of energy. So its voice is very subtle, it's very gentle, and if we cannot shut down the noise outside, we are not able to listen to the power inside.
Mm. If we cannot hear that, y'all, if we cannot tone down and block out the noise outside, we cannot hear our own inner.
Yes, we are all unique. It's like if you have a big puzzle, and the outside world keeps saying like, "Hey, you need to be like the corner, the piece on the corner," and the other person who comes to this world, "Hey, you need to be like that piece in the corner," and then you have a stack of bunch of people looking like that piece in the corner. In the meantime, the rest of the house needs to have its own piece
Mm.
to be a complete. And if we don't listen to this voice instead of we're just become this pile of sameness instead of ourselves, instead
Mm.
of the authentic self.
Say that
It's
again.
this
Say
way.
that. Say that point again. I think it's very important.
It's this whole idea of authentic self, which is kind of funny, because it's like
Mm.
to be authentic, you actually just be who you truly are, just
Mm.
yourself.
Mm.
So like as I said again, like if you look the world, let's go back to when we thought that the world was 2D. Like
Mm.
if you think it's a huge plan of a puzzle, each
Mm.
one has to be a part of it to form a whole picture.
Yeah.
And the best you can do is to want to become a very bright part of the picture, so that it's not
Yes.
dull,
Mm.
so that people can look at you and see like, oh, this is the part of the door, or this is the part of the tree, or this is the part of the ocean on the
Yes.
picture.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way we can do this is by listening to what is the inside telling us, and the
Okay.
external world keeps trying to make us smile of sameness, which makes absolutely no sense.
Mm. I concur and completely agree. Wow. In what I call what you just said is foundational knowledge. It's foundational knowledge. You see, sound the alarm on that. I keep repeating, everybody. I keep repeating to everybody, you got to work on your foundations every day. Just like if I'm practicing my capoeira, I gotta practice my side crab movements and my
Yeah.
spins. You know, if I'm practicing my boxing, I'm not doing nothing complicated. I'm doing the foundation. I'm making sure my feet are balanced. So a lot of people we can get so high within ourselves that we get into this place where we don't work on our foundational knowledge, not beliefs, but foundational knowledge of truth. You can have knowledge of self, but do you have the knowledge of truth of yourself? So that's something you got to sit still sometime and say, hold on. Am I letting this outer influence cause response and reactions? And I'm not talking about physical actions. I'm talking about thought patterns and attitudes.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's right. Yes, it's a very tricky thing because it's like when we have our eyes closed, that's the only thing that is real, the fear, the nothingness. This is the only thing that is real. That's where we came from. And when we open our eyes, this is not real, this is an illusion. So how is that you will not allow for this tangible world, which is an illusion, to affect you?
Right.
So it's very tricky. I understand why we all get affected by this world because it seems pretty real. But in reality,
Yeah.
we are still being real when we have our eyes closed, and we are living the illusion when we have our eyes open. That's what the matrix is all about.
Mm. It's for me. This is incredible. I gotta be great. Show some gratitude for this. This is so incredible for me because guess what? This is one of the most important parts of my everyday life. What you just said. Everybody listening. As soon as you wake up out of your dream, out of your sleep, and out of the dream world,
That's the illusion.
you're exactly the dream world. That was more real, not your interpretation of it.
Yeah, when
But
you're sleeping, you are actually living the real life. When you're awake, that's actually you are sleeping.
absolutely. And the reason why is because everybody in this world, we have a buffer, a self-defense buffer. Because if we didn't have the ego consciousness, we would overload ourselves with too much awareness at once. And that happens to some people when they use mushrooms, when they use LSD, or something could happen to anybody. Anybody. You could get overloaded and never come back, and we'll see you walking down the street talking to yourself. Okay? And it's like when we wake up, our ego, but when we're asleep, your subconscious is complete. There's no ego blocking. Your feelings are pure.
Coming from so.
What do you say about that?
Well, when we sleep, that's when we connect, we're truly connect with our soul because that's all that it is. Our soul is energy. When we sleep, we are living the energetic world. When we are awake, we are living the tangible world. And that's where the ego comes from. Because the ego was created on planet Earth, right? It was when we woke up, we started to raise like a little baby. And the soul is like his grandparents going like, don't do this, and they go like, I know better than you. What will you tell me? What you don't tell me what to do? And they say
Exactly.
something to me, so like, I have been here 300 times. I know what's better for you. Like, no, you don't know. So it's like they're so
Mm.
trying to guide the ego how to live. And I think the ego is the cutest thing. People see the ego as like the devil thing. I see the ego as a child, and I have a lot of patience with my ego. It's the cutest thing.
Wow, that's a great way of teaching about the ego. Did y'all hear that? She just said that's high level queen level consciousness. She said her ego is like a child that she deals with every day.
Yeah.
I was just saying when we wake up, it's like when I wake up, I have to keep myself, I have to talk myself into whether I'm gonna go back to sleep if I have time, give the effort to meditate, or whether I'm gonna fix myself to have a more positive outlook on the fact that I gotta deal with my own egomania. It's not even necessarily just the outside world that's bothering me. But it does. It is. But I know it's an illusion. I mean, every day it's this deep. It ain't no time that I wake up out to sleep. If I took a nap after I got off this live stream, if I took a nap and when I wake up, I'm going to have a problem with the fact that I'm waking up in this world. Now, somebody could say, well, you're in better position and situation than many others. It has nothing to do with it. I don't think the world is a negative place. It's my ego. That's
Yeah. It's
and
like parents. Parents should be able to understand ego really well because like their kids when they go to school and they come back home thinking that they know everything. That's kind of like they live how the ego operates. It
mm,
just has been living this life here and compared to our soul that has like seen everything, and
mm-hmm.
the ego thinks it knows everything. So
Yes.
we can shift our mind to think that that is actually cute because it is cute to think. So whenever I do it, that's something I talk to myself on third person and go like, oh, Anna, you are so cute thinking that.
So, do you think you had any experiences in your childhood that contributed to you being such a spiritual teacher, not just a spiritual person, but a spiritual teacher? Do you feel like you have any childhood experiences that you could express to us?
It just has been with me. And I heard this question a few times because people usually have someone who can influence them to be that way. I can't really tell that I had anybody. My family completely. My family thinks very different than I think. So much so that my nickname in my family used to be Little One, which is Doidinha in Portuguese.
Say it again.
Uh, Doidinha.
Moidinha. Okay.
Yeah, which is like little crazy one.
Okay.
But I always have those inside. I know that my brother's girlfriend used to come to the house when he was not around to get inside with me. 21 and I was 13 and she wanna get like inside with me. So I can't tell you that came to somebody other than source, other than that's just how it has been
Oh, that's
for the
great. That's
longest
great.
time. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt myself away from it,
Okay. Okay. That's
mainly
awesome.
when I,
So it's cultural. It's like
yeah,
it's not only just you, but it was reinforced in your community that it's okay for you to be your true self, and
yes,
and
yes,
that true self
it's,
inside you is the most valuable. It probably wasn't said, but it was like that's what we love about you. That simple,
yeah.
you know.
Brazil is very good on that. That's what I realized by living in America. It's how I don't know how it became that way, but Brazilians are actually pretty good on accepting people as they are. They bitch about it, and they will speak some truth right on your face, but they will not like too much thank you. And my family has been very much like that. They are brutal with their words, and that's why I think I'm so real with my words. I
Yeah,
don't really
yeah.
know how to lie.
Yeah, we all know y'all real people out here. We know who the real people coming from Central, South America, Caribbean. You know what I mean? We know that a lot is preserved there. I'll just say that a lot is preserved there.
Yeah,
How about your teenhood? I mean, you're from a Brazilian island. Uh, was there any spiritual experiences that help you become a spiritual teacher as a teenhood? Is it something that helped? Did you realize as a teenager through some experience?
my family has always been very much into going to church, but they don't really practice much of it. They just speak the name of God 300 times a day as if that's going to save them. And that's just how it is. Everything in the name of God, the name of God, the name of God. And I
Hmm.
always
Same as my
found that
family.
I think I was just very good at observing their world. I saw them, my family, they don't really seem to be happy. And I was like, I don't want to be like them because they don't really seem to be happy. I want to be different because I want to find. So I was just very curious my entire life. But when I became a teenager, I lost this connection a little bit. I became a little sad. I
Oh, I
was,
see. Yeah, I know
yeah, I
what you're
was no
talking about.
longer as happy as I used to
Hmm.
be. And I mean, I was still being bright and funny, but I was feeling this pain inside of me for the longest time. It followed me for such a long time. So I was like very happy and I became sad and very happy and I became sad.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Uh-huh. That's
Yeah,
real big being a teenager and young adult.
yeah. And
Hmm.
even after like on my trainings, I was still like I was for as long as I can remember feeling this pain in my chest until I about 6 years ago when I decided to stop everything and go within
Hmm.
and just diving deeper and deeper into that. And I discovered that was there the whole time. It was
Yeah.
talking to me. And that's why I was feeling sad because I
Hmm.
wasn't really listening. I was allowing to the external world to dictate how I
Yes.
should live my life. In some
Yes.
ways, even though I have always been very,
Hmm.
like what you guys would call authentic, I was still allowing some ways for the external world to dictate me. So I
Hmm.
opened war into that. I
Yeah.
don't like that word war, but I definitely rejected that 100%.
Give thanks. But that's an awesome share.
That was quite the opposite. My family was very much against the whole spiritual thing. For them was like
Hmm. Because it needs to
very
be
much
Christian.
of a,
They need you
yeah,
to be Catholic. They need you to
Catholic.
be
Yeah, everything is just Catholic, and anything else is just seen as like it's not good for you.
taboo.
And I grew
Hmm.
up with that, so that's why I was afraid of
Hmm.
um, diving into that because I was afraid of how my family would look at me, how what they would say unconsciously, of course.
Right.
I didn't make those choices consciously, but they would not accept that. I was the first one who started going to spiritual practice
Yes.
outside, and I had to lie to my family. They
Yeah,
didn't know that I
or
was
they don't
going.
want you around the kids. They don't want you around the teenagers because
No,
you're not a Catholic, but you're representing spiritual. And that's
yeah,
a problem with Muslims. That's a problem with all religious fundamentalists. Uh, they low key sometimes abuse their youth. Not everybody, not intentionally only, but what I mean is they end up outcasting people that are more scientific thinkers, more spiritual thinkers. And it's pretty ridiculous what a lot
yeah.
of people go through, especially people in poverty. What do you think of that? If people are in poverty, they have a problem with getting me caught up in the psychosis of this religious thing, and everything is limited. You can only do this, you can only do that, and no, 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 you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You're the bad kid. I knew she was gonna
It's
be the bad
crazy.
kid. Yeah, just straight. And just to relate with you, to let you know it's going down in America too. It's a worldwide phenomenon, sadly.
Yeah, it is. But the world has been like this whole time. There's nothing new about that. That's basically why they killed Socrates,
Mm-hmm.
because Socrates was installing new ideas into the young
Mm-hmm.
generation, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why that didn't happen. So they have been preventing for that to happen over and over again. And that's why I'm so grateful to social media, because it allows for us to just be able to speak where many people can just have access to that information.
Yes.
Um,
Again,
and we couldn't do that before.
mm-hmm. Wow. Great insight. Great insight. Thus, for everybody that's has just come in or has just been coming in and listening, uh, this is Ana Massette. She is a spiritual practitioner. She's a spiritual teacher. She is. She really is. Even if she is, follow her, Ana Massette. She's from Brazil and she's from an island in Brazil. What's the name of your island?
It's called São Luís, which is actually considered the island of love.
Ah, this sister is from the island of love, a sister of love. I knew I was doing the right thing. I saw how the thing for me was I know we start off in life and then there's bumps and bruises, there's suffering, there's pain, and um it's rare to see someone so consistently happy, and it's different from looking good and looking sexy and all this, and it's different from trying to look happy. I seen happiness in you, joyfulness in you consistently in your pics. And then you have the teachings written out again on her post, Ana Massette. What's the name of your she's right there, everyone on the Instagram. She's BR Spiritual. BR Spiritual underscore ninja. BR Spiritual underscore ninja. BR Spiritual underscore ninja. She is from the island of love, a Brazilian island known as the island Amora. She is from Brazil. She's been in America 17 years. She's a spiritual practitioner. If y'all follow her on Instagram, you will know what I'm talking about and why I asked her to come on here. Whenever you find a gem, a jewel, a great spiritual teacher that guides everything basic and simple for you, that's who you give your time and energy for when it comes to spiritual learning, because life is moving way too fast to sit around and read books sometime, most of the time for some people. But you do give time for them scrolling, right? Well, stop on the spiritual one. Don't only watch the dancing. Don't only watch the politics. And that's what I want to go to real quick, y'all. Now, with the spiritual, I'm the author of a book named The Art of Political Atheism. The Art of Political Atheism. The end of the book, and just like this book, Outline to Empower. This is a book I authored also. You can see me on the picture.
Fantastic. Yeah, I did see that.
And you see me on the cocoon. You see me on the cocoon. Outline to Empower, how to do and what to know for evolutionary living. So when she's saying push back the outer noise, the outer influences, that's something that I effectively enforce in both my books I just spoke of. Because if you're caught up in the elections, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, if you're caught up in race politics, I'm black, I'm a black American. I want to see black people in America do good. I want to see white people do good, red people do good, but I'm black. So yes, I do have to care about that at times because I want my people and us to do good, right? But if I give so much energy to any of these type of politics, it's giving energy to the outer world. Am I right? Is that giving energy to the outer world, Ana? Ana, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Could you hear what I was saying?
No, I didn't hear the last part of it. I was trying to do something else, so I will listen.
It's all good. Well, I was just saying that giving energy to these politics, giving energy to the entertainment, giving energy to our Attention addiction. That's giving attention and getting attention. All that's giving, isn't that giving energy to the outer world?
Yes.
And so
And
that's taking
we
time from
live
you?
it here in this our world. It's impossible not to give energy to it, right?
Absolutely.
It's we have to be giving the energy, but it's about being. We talk a lot about budget, money budget, but we don't talk a lot about energy budget. I don't think we need to talk more about that because it's about budgeting your energy. Like,
Budgeting.
okay,
Budgeting.
yeah,
Okay. She's saying energy budgeting. Woo! You on fire. Yeah, you dropping the lava. Cool. Break that down. Break that down. We listening. We're listening.
yeah. I mean, it's about what I'm gonna put my energy in and what I'm gonna get out of it. Because like when you talk about budgeting money, you always think like, well, if I spend this, I'm gonna get that. If I spend $10, I'm gonna get, I don't know, a beer or something like that. If you like alcohol, whatever it is, you're gonna get back from it. You are doing an exchange. Everything's an exchange, and the same thing should be for energy. You are exchanging your energy. So if you put in politics, it's great. We need to. We live in today's world. But what are you gonna get out of this? Like people keep talking about talking. Live in this world that we got so used to talk, but we're not really acting much. And if you just keep talking about the bad side of politics, of how horrible all of the politicians are, guess what you're doing? You're just giving more energy to this shitty things that they are doing. So if you really wanna like go on the other side of the spectrum is to ask yourself questions like, okay, what can I do right now that can be an opposite energy of what they are doing? Because keep talking about what they are doing is not it. It's just energy. You're just giving energy, makes this energy of evil, as you call it. Um, so the question we should ask ourselves, like, which action, right? That's the important thing. Can I do right now that will actually help that? But that by help will be going opposite direction. This direction is going bad. So we keep saying like, oh, I hear in America mainly is that we're always saying how horrible the world is. We're always saying here in America, talking about politics, talking about how horrible everything is. And I mean, many fantastic things happening in the world. I wish I wanted more people talking about the fantastic thing that's happening instead of the messed up thing. Because when you keep talking about the messed up things, you're giving energy to that, and that energy grows.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really want to do something that will be in opposite directions, like let's talk about the good thing. Does that mean I'm not being aware of what's happening? No, I'm very aware. I'm so aware that I don't want to talk about it because I want to go with energy that are opposite of it.
Exactamundo. Exactamundo. Gratitude. Wow, that was deep. Anybody have any questions? You can call in 909-446-2388. That is a West Coast phone number, 909-446-2388. We're vibing, obviously, from California. Sister Ana Massette, direct from the island of love, a Brazilian island. Can you believe it? That's right. And true and living person. We're so grateful. Again, if you have questions, you have some statements you want to add to, call in now, especially if you're on Instagram because they limited the time, et cetera, that we are casting. But if it cuts off on Instagram, go to David Dimitri Live in Color on YouTube.com. We are live at David Dimitri Live in Color on YouTube.com. And if you go on it, always subscribe, you know what I'm saying, comments, et cetera. And we are on David Dimitri Johnson live right now on Facebook. Everybody can call in if you want to call in, 909-446-2388. And it's important, if you have questions, please do chime in with your calls. It's important because you might add, you will add too. I have a question though, in dealing with shame. I'm reading a book. I accidentally didn't bring the book in here, but it teaches about how much of a fraud shame is. And before we go any further with that, let me tell you what, I'm gonna share something with y'all about shame. Listen, about shame.
Life itself is also a complete fabrication and an immense illusion. A lie based on previous lies, multiplied by yet more lies, does not foster truth.
Now, with that in mind, we're talking about, we're going into subject matter of shame. Anybody, again, you can still call in. You don't have to say much. You can ask questions, yada yada. And if you comment, I will read your comments. But I want to talk about shame because your spiritual teachings are very solution based. You're a solution based thinker, vibrator, solutions. This shame thing is keeping people bad. I mean, shame is a huge lie. Shame is like, should only be there for, you can learn lessons in life, even in dealing with other people, without shame. You could sometime, and you learn this from this book, you could perform better. Like I'll train people in fighting, right? Let's just say that because I do. And they get to, when they're performing, before they can get, one of their mind blocks is, oh man, I'm messing up. It's not a, oh, I didn't get that right. It's, oh man, it's like a panic. It's a shame. Why? Because we've been subconscious since childhood, and even we through synthesis is through your bloodline, genetics that you get from your mom and dad. Shame is in that blood. Shame is programmed in that blood. It's called synthesis. And then you get socialized to feel shamed. School, yada, yada, yada. So we need a mass healing of shame, from shame. We need a mass reprogramming from shame. Shame is keeping people from stop doing the wrong thing. Like you could be part of a gang and be like, oh, I don't mind that this person did this wrong thing. I'm not going to go violent on him. But because you're in that gang mind, that person, you shame to be your true self. Like, that's not a big deal. I don't want to fight them over that. But you could be shamed. Like somebody could be like a player and the other players could be like, man, you need to use her for her money. You need to use him for his money. Like, oh, you weak, you soft, you didn't get the money. It's all kind of situations where shame is being misused to peer pressure people, to people they don't want to get help. They don't want to ask for help. Some people probably want to call in and won't call in because they feel shame. What do you say about that? How can we get past shame?
Yes, it's a little bit delayed here. Um, Shame has been trapped in our body throughout like generations, and it's trapped mainly in our throats. That's why it holds us back. We are not able to speak, and it's based on that I have my persona, as I call it,
Okay.
into embrace all the parts of me, which I bring lots of sexuality into my teachings, exactly to work against shame. My idea is to really inspire people to be themselves wherever they want to be, and I bring everything to like high to a high was the best way of saying that.
Consciousness, vibration.
Yeah, I had conscious, but it's also like I exaggerating things a little bit,
Oh no, it's
just to
okay.
be
That's good.
like I can do my hair all the colors. That means you can do one color.
Mm-hmm.
I can just be spiritual and sexy at the same time. That means you can be whatever you want. So
Yeah.
that's my way of going against shame, to just face it. As I have been in a way that I was shamed or tried to be shamed so many, and I never allowed for that to happen, but it still has been trapped in my body. And as I mean, we don't. I see people talking about releasing shame. I mean, we don't really release energy. I
Mm.
think we have to stop talking about releasing and start talking about transforming. As energy cannot be released, can only be transformed. So
Mm.
um,
Mm.
it's about transforming this energy of shame
Mm-hmm.
really
Mm.
into freedom. Because we came here with freedom, but our parents who had been trained to feel shame, pass that on us to our blood and to the words and the whole environment teaching us, and we pass along to another one. It's which is so funny. We come here, we fight, we
Mm.
don't accept all of this, and then we grow
Mm.
up and then you have kids, and we do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just like,
It's
really? Are you
repeating.
gonna repeat the same thing that your parents did over and over again?
Hey,
So stop that.
but you know, I want to say something. A lot of parents is forcing that onto the children and teenagers. They're forcing the repeat. A lot of elders, even if you taking care of yourself, even even if you're raising yourself, like I didn't just raise myself. I had a mother and aunties, and I had some men. My mom was blind, you know, so it was different than other people. But I came up. I did get raised though enough, but most of what I had to get in life was just living. And there's people on the street, there's people in schools, grown ass people that's jealous of kids, jealous of children, jealous of teenagers. And their bitch ass will sit up and try to be sneaky and influence teenagers and kids to do the wrong thing. And it's not being accepted that there's adults that bad because it's so subtle and so sneaky.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted to put that out there that it's ridiculous that certain things are still repeating. And I just think shame has a lot to do with it since I've been studying this book. Body shaming is not just what it seems to be. Isn't body shaming above just your physical? Isn't it kind of like what you do with your body?
Not really, because it's ingrained within every part of us because it comes
Mm.
from generation. So if it's coming from generations within our blood, it's within our cells, really, because everything operates in our body in perfect symmetry. Like you can't just separate this is in here, this is
Mm.
not in there, because that's not how the body operates. The body operates as a unity.
Mm. As a unity.
So if shame is ingrained on us, it's ingrained within its whole unity, not just a part of it. And shame is the one that is based in actually in every energetic system, like the root system, energetic system, and the technical and the practice, the heart, but mainly in the throat. According to my studies, the throat is the one that the shame
Mm.
stays more. The energy of shame
Oh. Mm.
stays more concentrated,
Mm.
and that's why it doesn't allow us to speak
Mm.
because we are afraid of speaking due to the energy of shame that has been trapped in our throat.
Mm.
And if we don't speak, we're not able to put boundaries. If we don't speak, we're not able to be our authentic self. So it's in a way, I think that was done with intention in the past. Like if you go all the way back to the beginning of this whole thing, I think there was a little bit of intention. Like, oh, everything is control. So if we shame them, they will stop doing this. And if they stop doing this, they will stop think that they are powerful. If they stop thinking that they are powerful, means I'm powerful. So
Wow.
everything is a power game anyway.
Oh, like power dynamic. Deep.
Every single fear, everything doubt, every single thing that is it's not allowing us to move forward. At the end of the day, it's just a power game because we are either powerless or powerful. We only
Wow.
have those two sides of the coin. And if you are powerless, you do nothing. Means somebody else is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what my teaching is all about. It's about really get people to understand that you are powerful. And the more I understand how much the world made me or try to make me believe that I was powerless, the stronger I get if you get people to understand that everyone is actually powerful.
Okay. Well, the Instagram time is up. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to restart it. We're gonna reset the Instagram. And then we're just gonna start over, okay? And we're not gonna start all the way over. We're just gonna take off where we stop.
Sure.
Okay. Hold on, just let me reset it. Okay.
Before you go there, I'm gonna actually change to my phone this conversation because it'll be easier to listen to because
Okay.
I'm having a little bit of a.
Okay.
So let me